Welcome back to Final Fantasy V 4-Job Fiesta 2020, what should be the finale. We are in the final dungeon. We should not have any difficulty. We don't need those treasure boxes. We don't need to fight the old men's. We do need to get smooched by this purple lady. We'll just let Shantae there show us what for. The next two bosses should be a breeze, and then I'm hoping I've got 200k, which is the gold total that we're looking for. This boss likes to turn everybody into toads, but I don't recall anything actually terrible about it. So we're just gonna do our dual cast meteor strat. After this fight, you kind of open up a shortcut back to the start of this like castle area of this dungeon, but unfortunately that shortcut does not stay open. It's only a one-way ticket from this part of the castle to an earlier part. I wish you could permanently open it, because a lot of parties and a lot of teams, and even if you're playing a vanilla run, just doing leveling up and grinding and stuff in the final dungeon, getting a bunch of jobs taken care of, moving back and forth in this castle very easily would be a very nice thing that the developers of the game did not give us. I like the damage on that. Let's keep this moving. Blue magic? Ugh, who wants to use blue magic? Alright, let's go ahead and I guess we'll put up Mighty Guard. There's no reason not to. I don't think it's going to be super helpful in this fight, but who knows? Kind of middling meteor rolls there. I wonder if level affects your meteor damage output. Probably not, right? It does. I think it's just a random roll, and the only variance we're seeing is either in the randomness of the roll. I could have looked this up. I could have gone and looked up the actual algorithm, the actual formula for meteor's damage, but I think the only time we're seeing reduction in damage is the target's magic defense is in play here. Whereas I want to say Flare pierces magic defense. It always acts as though the target's defense is 0, their magic defense is 0. But even then, the multiple hits from Flare, big hits like that especially, recommend it for single targets over Flare, I do believe. Excellent. We actually don't need to fight Iron Giants for sure. We'd be here forever. How are we doing on... We're doing okay. I think I want to switch you to blue magic, though. For the next fight. You know what? Let's just gun it. Let's just go for it. This is another gimmick boss fight. That's why I didn't bother saving, because I know we can win this. We're going to start with... let's put some regen on. I don't want to actually take up anybody's turn, but a tick of regen never hurt nobody. Time. What do we want to do here? I don't think we want to do anything. I think we want to just wait. No, let's put up Mighty Guard. Just in case it does start hitting us with stuff that we're going to need to worry about. So at some point, Twintania is going to start charging up for like a super attack. And at that point, it actually shifts the monster into an alternate version of itself. It like loads in a new version of the monster that is not heavy, so there's lots and lots of ways to kill it. We could use the Odin from the Magic Lamp to do it, but I think I want to save Odin. I don't want to have to go back and recharge the lamp. We are going to have to leave the dungeon at some point, but I don't think I want to recharge the lamp. That's a trip either down into the volcano or all the way back to where we pick up the lamp using Boko to go to the waterfall. So if we can kill this boss without doing that, and I think I have the means to do it in the Black Magic set, because we've got access to Death. We also have Break, which I think would work. But you see Shell is doing work here. We're taking half damage from all the magic attacks. I think our regens is going to take care of it all. Powering up for Giga Flare, so now we do have to land Death. I don't think level 5 Death will work here, but I think you can lower its level to level 5. Or you could Death Claw it, or you could really do anything you want. I'm pretty sure Break would land, but let's see if we can stick Death to it. We sure can. Goodbye, Twintania. Oh, we got Blue Magic Mind Blast. I don't even know what that does. It does some damage and drains MP, maybe? Question mark? Not really, not totally sure. Alright, we have 184,000 gil. And we have some stuff we can sell off. Is that going to get us there? Do I want to push forward and finish up the bosses in the very last dungeon? I think I do, actually. There's a save point there that I want to be able to use. So we are going to have to recharge one more time here with a cabin, or a cottage, or multiple tents, or whatever. No, we want to go downstairs. Each side of the dungeon, if you go to the other side of this tower over here, there's a room with, I think, a man-eater, which is a dagger only the dancer can equip. And it has a special property that increases damage against human enemies, and you fight... I couldn't even name a human enemy at this point in the game. Like, maybe those ninjas in the sky area of this dungeon count? Maybe the man-eater would get bonus damage against them. And then the treasure boxes in the old man rooms there also contain dancer equipment. I think one of them is a rainbow dress. And then you can get a second rainbow dress from Phoenix Tower. I think I'm remembering all this correctly. You can steal one from Phoenix Tower. I'm actually going to use 2 tents here. Because the next boss we're going to fight actually does have quite a lot of consideration. But Shell is going to be remarkably good. I'm really glad that we have that Mighty Guard. I really thought that Stingrays, you needed to control them. You couldn't just confuse them. So Blue Mage can always get it, then. Because a Blue Mage can inflict Confuse with the Wonder Wand, if nothing else. You always have that option. You can just cycle... Oh, maybe these Sword Dancers count as humans. I don't know. Get me out of there, Barts. So yeah, we're going to go unlock the save point at the end of the dungeon here. And maybe we'll take... Oh no, I can't take a trial run against Shinryu. We're not able to survive against Shinryu until I get 200,000 gold. So I hope we get there with the equipment we can sell, because we are... How short are we? We're about 20,000 short. If I don't need an ice or flame shield against Shinryu, I can sell one of those for 20k, I think. Gilgamesh is here, but we're just going to ignore Gilgamesh. Oh, we can. He's standing on top of the... on top of the teleporter we need. So yeah, we're not going to ignore Gilgamesh. He's not here... if you don't fight him in Exdeath's castle, if you don't take the Excalibur, he's not here, because Exdeath never gets mad at him and never sends him down into the void. But... here he is. I think this is kind of a gimmick fight. Maybe we just have to do a little bit of damage to him. I don't want to waste a whole lot of magic points here. But I think after a second he'll recognize us and send us on our way. Good old Gilgamesh. Yeah, because he thinks we're monsters, because he's been stuck here fighting monsters for, like, ever. In fact, I should put Mighty Guard on, just so I don't lose any lives here. But after I think he hits us a couple times... Wow, that was the weakest comet ever. You know, it's just White Wind. I can just top off our... I don't think he's going to be able to push through all of this damage at any points. One weakness of this party is we have a low health total, which means when we get to the very final boss, when we get to Neo X Death, we're going to have to push through a lot of hit points on the part of the boss that uses Almagests, and we're going to have to do it very quickly. But I think double casting Flare will definitely get us there. I don't think it's going to be a problem, it's just a consideration. If we don't do the fight that way, we're going to have some difficulty. Are you going to notice me yet? Because I realize we're just lapping you on turns constantly. Oh, he's double casting now. I'm going to keep commenting him for 200 damage at a time. You got to get out of my way, nerd. I don't want to accidentally cast Return. That would be a tragedy. Yeah, I think I'm just going to wait this out. I don't think we actually do have to damage him. Maybe I'll throw one meteor at him just in case. It's worth throwing one meteor out there. Not a great meteor roll. Not a great meteor showing. I'm just going to sit on Forrest's turn. Yeah, there we go. The fight's over. It's a scripted fight. So he's been here ever since X-Death threw him here at the end of World 2. And he's only 20 feet away from the exit, so Lord knows why why he's been stuck here this whole time. I mean, we've been having spectacular adventures this whole time. Saving the world doesn't count as a spectacular adventure, apparently. Alright, Gilgamesh. Thanks for, whatever that was. Not totally sure what that was, but thanks for it. Now, we can't teleport out of this part of the dungeon, but if we run back to the castle portion, we can safely teleport from there. We don't have to walk all the way back, like... If you don't have Time Mage, you do have to walk all the way back, no matter what your party is, because Time Mage is the only party that gets teleport. Just be able to run from this? Yeah. Preemptive Strike, just run from it. I guess if you were really fastidious about wanting to conserve magic points, you could cast Return instead of Teleport until you roll into a Preemptive Strike. We're not going to have to do those kinds of shenanigans. That's Return. I don't want. I was just saying I don't want to do that. I'm pretty sure none of the monsters in here give experience, just large amounts of ability points and probably gold, but I think we've got enough gold for what we need to do. And we're finding some Fuma Shurikens. We can sell those as well. God, Meteor's going to help us a lot in the next fight, too, because... Well, again, because of auto-reflect. Our targets are going to have reflect. So yeah, Meteor is the MVP. I didn't think I was going to be using Meteor to the exclusion of Flare, but that does seem to be where we're at. Alright, let me see if I have one Ether to give to Bartz here. I do. Exactly one Ether. Okay, so that gives him probably one more cast of Meteor. So Necrophobe has 4 barriers, and we can't target him until the barriers are dead. And they all have Meteor, or they all have Reflect up. So what we're going to do is just start flinging... Should I do Quick Meteor? No, not with Bart. Still run out of magic points immediately. So it's kind of random what order these things are going to die in, but I also don't think it matters. As long as the meteors don't hit Necrophobe, those will just be wasted. We are going to put up Mighty Guard because we definitely want Shell for this fight. I must have scienced it at one point. What happens if you cast Quick during a quick turn? And didn't like the answer I got. Yeah, right there we just lost a Meteor Tick to Necrophobe. He's a valid target for any attack that hits random targets, but he can't actually be damaged until we take care of the barriers. So as long as we're hitting barriers, we're fine. That looks like a pretty good roll. That looks like a really good roll, because taking down one barrier means we're going to eat fewer spells. There's our Mighty Guard, so half damage from magic attacks. So that bottom left one has taken the most damage, I think. I don't know how many hit points these things have. If I wanted to target damage on one of them, I could use Flare. Maybe I will when we're down to just one. Oh, it looks like we got 2 hits against Necrophobe there. That's not what you want to see. So that was not a good cast. One of them's dead. Hey, welcome to the fight, Necrophobe. Welcome to explaining how it works. Even though we already know, because I've played this game before. Alright, so now I have a 25% chance of Meteor getting wasted. Oh, 2 of them got eaten up right there. Oh, I can't use Flare. Flare will bounce off of their Reflect. I have to stick to Meteor, even though when we get down to the last barrier, it's a 50-50 chance of missing one. Like right there. Every time you see Necrophobe flash. Oh, we missed 2. But the meteors are swarming. Oh, we missed 2 there as well. Still 2,000 damage against one of the barriers. That's not terrible. So I can't use any kind of blue magic here. Maybe I can. He'll reflect Eroga. You won't reflect Aqua Breath. Here you go, buddy. Wonderful. Alright, so the barriers are gone. I think we're going to do... Like, he's going to taunt me again or something. My invincible barriers! They're gone, buddy. Alright, let's eat some power. Oh yeah, go ahead and blind us. That's really going to hurt. Because we're using a lot of physical attacks. Man, he knows our actual weakness. It's terrible. But now that he can be damaged... Either he has really high magic defense, or these were really terrible meteor rolls. One of the two. No, those must have just been really terrible meteor rolls. Or maybe both! Once we hear Gilgamesh's music kick in, we know this fight's over. You know what we're going to do here, then, is... I mean, we don't really have another option with him. So we're going to Goblin Punch. Aqua Breath is good, but... we might get more... I know Goblin Punch isn't great, but we still might get more damage out of it. And this fight's got to be close to done. It's a gimmick fight, and if you know what's up, it's just really a matter of putting enough damage on those barriers before they start spamming. I think they start spamming Aga spells, or maybe Holy and Flare. Oh, we're out of Nips. Well, let's go ahead and cast Bio. That was pretty insane damage just on its own. My goodness. Maybe I should just be dual casting bio here. You are out, so go ahead and comment, I suppose. Is it your turn again already? I'll get you singing since you don't have any more magic points to do anything with. I'm just going to regular cast bio with the rest of Lena's MIPs. You're completely out. Nothing more we can do here. Oh, one more comment. One more comment is in the cards. 8 points of damage. That's what we want to see. Alright, Gilgamesh, anytime you want to show up is fine. We got Protect up, so sorry, you're just not going to be able to do much to me there, buddy. Oh, wait a minute. Let's give you... If we're going to do Bio... Let's do a Poison Rod. And you've got nothing. I don't have my regen up. Let's do that. Because he can do some damage with his physical attacks. And then we'll go back to Hero's Rhyme. Goblin Punch was not doing too well. We'll try Mind Blast. We'll see if we can do that once. Mind is being drained. I have no idea what that actually means. Yeah, that Vacuum Wave is supposed to be a super powerful attack. We're in the back row, and we've got Protect up, so we're blocking it in two directions. I'd really rather not use an Elixir here if I don't have to, but I think I'm going to have to. In fact, let's go ahead and use one here on Cryo, and then I can have Cryo start dual casting Bio. This guy just doesn't want to die. Way more hit points than I thought he had. Alright. Does he have like a specific weakness against poison or something? I know we're getting boosted damage on Bio from the Magus Rod, but I was not expecting that. Hey, there's my man. Gilgamesh wanted to go on spectacular adventures with us, and he decided, you know what? Saving the world's a pretty spectacular adventure. I don't know that you really left us in the lurch, though, buddy. I think we would have had this. I think we'd have been fine. So, at this point, if you have somebody who can steal, you can steal Genji armor from him. In fact, Gilgamesh is the 4 final times you fight him. You fight him a total of 6 times, I think. The first 2 times didn't have anything worth taking. So when you fight him, let me think about this. On Zizat's fleet, he has Genji gloves. When you fight him in Exdef's castle, I think he's got a Genji helmet. When you fight him the first time in the Rift, he's got a Genji shield. And when you fight him, you're not fighting him here, but he shows up here. But you can still steal from him. You can still target him with things if you wanted, like this. But he has Genji armor, so that's where you get the whole set from. And he just gives terrible life advice to everybody. Gilgamesh has apparently not seen Faris's dancer uniform. Now he just sparkles with... I don't know what that was. Just the essence of pure heroism. I wonder if Lena's a vegetarian. She must be. He's got life advice for everybody. Just life hacks with Gilgamesh. So in all of Gilgamesh's other appearances, so the Final Fantasy series has a lot of mythos behind it, where characters or archetypes or something reappear, or enemies especially, monsters and spells and things reappear all the time, but there's no canonical timeline for the series. Each chapter is its own thing, its own entity in and of itself. However, it's strongly implied that Gilgamesh, as he appears in every other game in the series, it's the same Gilgamesh, showing up everywhere. That's the implication, and it's never stated outright that that's the case. We could have done another 10,000 damage to Necrophobe. That was just another round or two. Gilgamesh did not have to blow himself up. If all he was going to do was do 10,000 damage. But yeah, that's the implication, is that Gilgamesh is the same guy. He gets sucked into the rift and shows up in game after game after game. And in many of them, he has a rivalry with Bartz. So especially in the games where Bartz actually shows up, like World of Final Fantasy or Final Fantasy Dissidia, that's where Gilgamesh plays his rivalry up. Otherwise, he kind of always just implies he's searching for Bartz to fight him. So I guess the idea is that Necrophobe didn't actually kill Gilgamesh there, just sent him maybe deeper into the rift. And eventually, we're about to close the rift after we fight the last boss here, so... Gilgamesh gets stranded beyond time and space and never stops looking for Bartz. I think in World of Final Fantasy, he claims he's been searching for Bartz for 100 years. Although it's kind of unclear whether the comeback characters in either the Dissidia games or in World of Final Fantasy, which both have storylines, like those games both have plots to them, and it's kind of like a smorgasbord of Final Fantasy characters from across the series, kind of a greatest hits, like Final Fantasy All-Stars in those games. And I think they always stop just short of saying, like, these are the same characters, because that would put a big damper on their actual games. Like, how dumb would it be if you've got a very story-heavy Final Fantasy game? 5 doesn't really count as a story-heavy game, but takes, like, Final Fantasy 4 as an example, a very story-heavy Final Fantasy game. You have Cecil and Kain coming back for Dissidia, and Golbez as well. Like, at what point during their timeline in Final Fantasy IV did they leave and go to some other weird fighting dimension? So I think the Celebration games always kind of just stop short of outright stating, oh yeah, you know, after Cloud and Barret beat up that long sword guy, they jumped into an interdimensional portal and ended up fighting mannequins along with Lightning and Vaughn and the rest of them. Especially in World of Final Fantasy, because I don't think any of these characters ever mention being Munchkin versions of themselves. So every chest in here that doesn't kill me is a Fuma Shuriken, so we're going to be selling those. We are going to be coming through the dungeon one last time, but we do have to go do some shopping first. Which is just one other benefit of having Time Mage, because otherwise we would have to hoof it all the way out of the dungeon and then all the way back when we were ready to come back. However, we don't have to go recharge the magic lamp. We have that going for us. We do just fly down here, almost a straight shot south to the Phantom Village, where our Black Chocobo has sat unused for all of World 3. We could use the Black Chocobo to go through, there's two dungeons, the Phoenix Tower and, North Mountain, where it was the first mountain dungeon from very early in the game. We need to buy 4 of these, otherwise we're not getting anywhere. So we need to come up with 20,000 buckaroos, and we've only got 59 Phoenix Downs. Alright. What can we sell? These can go. Oh, that's 20,000 right there. Beautiful. I would like to buy More Phoenix Downs. Are there item shops here? Just regular... Yeah, they must be upstairs. Yeah, here we go. Alright, so let's sell off the rest of what we can get away with. Let's get rid of... That's one Phoenix. Yeah, I've got 9. We can get rid of those. We got tents we can use. I can sell... Oh, those aren't worth anything. Oh, well. That's not worth anything. This isn't worth anything. It won't let me sell the Omega badge, thankfully. I have the defense... Ooh, I might actually be putting this to use in an upcoming fight. We can sell a blood sword. I think we can safely sell these. You know, I'm going to sell... If I want them later, I can always go... If that's really the limiting factor, I can go back and get more. I'm going to sell off my shields here. And I'm going to sell that ribbon. Alright, and let's just buy up 99 Phoenix Downs. We should be in really good shape here. I do wish I had another main gouge. I don't think we can get another one, unfortunately. Alright, going back. We have 99 Phoenix Downs. We got enough tents. I'm probably going to put this to use. I've got the main gouge equipped right there. We've got our coral rings. We need to cycle the Wonder Wand once because we ended up not using that Reflect against Omega. The next spell in the Wonder Wand is Berserk, and Berserk is going to be key to winning the next boss fight. So what I'm going to do here actually is we can cycle it right here. Cryo can do the honors for us. This should be Reflect. This is why I don't play the game with the battle speed turned down all the time, because it takes forever to do anything. And we can just get out of here. And then give her the Magus Rod back. I still have my Crystal Shield. Oh, he's actually equipped. Oh, she's equipped with it. I don't want her equipped with it. I want her equipped with the Aegis Shield for the walk up at least. The Mirage Vest will probably give to somebody else, though. Yeah, because she'll have the Defender, which I'm pretty sure works like a main gouge. It says it sometimes evades attacks. We won't be able to equip Elven Mantles because we need our accessory slots for Coral Rings. Some of you know the strat we're about to utilize against Shinryu, and some of you probably have no idea where this is going. So what I'm going to, first of all, I do have a backup plan for Shinryu. It's not pretty, but if you have Bard, you always have a way to defeat Shinryu. All it takes is Bard and a Reflect Ring. And I'm going to describe how the fight goes. Some of you have watched me do this on stream. I don't recommend doing it unless it's literally the only option you have. We have the ability to cast Berserk, so it's not literally our only option. We have other options for Shinryu. Even if you can't use the Wonder Wand, there's a staff called the Power Staff. It drops off certain monsters in Extet's Castle and World 2. That's the staff that I said I wanted to grind that up for, and then forgot that I was going to need it. But the Wonder Wand will fill the role just fine. No, no, no. Should I try to return here? Yeah, I'll just teleport. We don't need to... It's more difficult to run from back attacks. Alright, so here's what you do. In the final... there's actually kind of two dungeons here. There's the rift we're going through now, which is kind of a mishmash of all kinds of different dungeons from throughout the game. And then there's like the void area at the very end, like Crystal World. In the castle area of the rift, there is those shadow dancers that can inflict zombie on you. So what you have to do is get zombies with reflect rings. Typically, I only have 2 reflect rings. I'm pretty sure as a very rare encounter, you can find reflect knights somewhere in this dungeon. Maybe even in the castle portion. So if you don't have reflect rings, not all is lost. You can get them. But a zombie wearing a reflect ring cannot be killed by Shinryu. A zombie can't be killed by anything ever. Being a zombie means you have 0 hit points and you can't be controlled, but you can still be targeted with attacks. It's also a lose condition. If your whole party is some combination of zombie, KO, petrify, you lose the game. So if everybody's a zombie, you automatically lose. So what you do is you get 3 of your characters as zombies and put reflect rings on them. Your 4th character is a bard or some other job with the bard's hide ability. And you have that bard hide. Congratulations, you win against Shinryu now. Every 6 or 8 rounds or whatever, he has a 1 in 3 chance of casting Atomic Ray, which is that laser fire attack that those red dragons schooled me with back in World 2. And that's reflectable. And it'll bounce off, and it'll do like 400 damage to him. And he's got like 60,000 hit points. But every 6 or 8 rounds, nothing else he can do can ever kill you. Because the only character you have that can lose the battle is hidden off screen. And that's it. That's my backup strat. That's why I say Bard is the only class in the game that really has a strategy, a single class strategy against both Omega and Shinryu. Because against Omega, a Bard can always, a party with at least 2 Bards can chain cast Romeo's Ballad. And against Shinryu, you can use the dumb reflecting zombie strats. That actually might not be true though, because Omega, you also need some way to deal damage. I don't think a party of just Bards can do it. So there might still be parties that can't deal damage to Omega. I can't think offhand of, because they're few and far between. All you really need is at least one person that can equip one of the lightning elemental weapons. The Coral Sword is a very early game weapon that can do it. The Lightning Bow is from around the same part in the game, Thunder Bow or whatever. Is there another lightning elemental weapon? A Partisan is a lightning spear from World 2, so it's a little stronger at least. As long as you can equip one of those weapons. Is it a Partisan or is it a Trident? I can't remember now. There might be other lightning weapons that I'm not remembering. Otherwise, I think you're just power leveling. I think you just have to get your level high enough that you can push through Omega's magic defense. He's got outrageous defense and magic defense. But any party with Bard can theoretically drag the fight out forever. How's that? Maybe with a maxed out chicken knife and a very high level character, you can punch through Omega's defense, and that's something even a Bard could do. Teleport is like the poor man's flea, just because it has a longer animation and it casts MP. You have to use up resources to use it. Alright, castle portion is back. There's also a way, any summoning spells that you've missed and can't go get, like if you forgot to get Rama, which is a random encounter, or Catoblepus, which is a random encounter. I'm pretty sure those creatures will show up on these floors in the castle in different places. But I've never had Summoner, and even if I did have Summoner, I know better than to skip summon spells. Carbuncle would be another one. You can't go back and get Carbuncle after World 2. Although you can get Sildra, Leviathan, and Bahamut in World 3, and those are the 3 best. If you've got those 3, you're in good shape. And Phoenix. Phoenix is also good, but Sildra is probably the best, because you can boost Sildra damage. It's a wind-water elemental, so you can boost it with an air knife, which the Time Mage can't equip. And with a gold hairpin, it's just very economical to cast Sildra in every random encounter and do outrageous damage. Magus Rod should boost it too, actually, but you might have your Magus Rod on your other summoner. I don't know. If we did have summoner, I think the Shinryu fight would be much smoother. And the Gill Turtle as well, because we could put out Golem. The big problem with Shinryu is his physical attack is going to be an insta-kill against everybody. It's not going to matter if we're in the back row. It's not going to matter if we have Protect. Nothing matters ever. Every single attack is going to be a one-hit kill, and he might get double attacks against us. We can mitigate that somewhat by having Quick. So what I'm going to do is go up here and use a Cottage to get all of Bartz's magic points back. Oh, I sold my Cottages. We'll use Tents until we're at full. And then I'll get equipped for the fight. I think we're going to have to get into one battle to do one piece of prep work. We already cycled the Wonder Wand to the correct spot. Shinryu always opens with a water spell that does like 4,000 damage. If you don't have Coral Rings equipped, you just lose instantly. Unless you're extremely high level. Get me out of here, Bartz! Okay. Let's use up some Tents to get Bartz's magic points back. And hope my Phoenix Downs supply lasts. One more should do it. What is it? Final Fantasy IV The After Years has moon cycles. Every time you stay the night somewhere, or X amount of game time passes, it moves on to the next moon phase. So if you're at an advantageous moon phase and you need to use a tent, you actually have to use 4 tents to get back to the same moon phase you were at. Oh, we got to get into one fight here. I'm going to... do that. Forest has an important role to play in the upcoming fight, but is not dealing damage. Okay. Alright, let's get suited up here. Now, Bartz, the main Gauche we want on... Who do I want to have my Mirage Vest? Who has the higher agility of my mages? Kryle does. So Kryle's going to go in with the Wonder Wand. So you, I guess, can have the Magus Rod. And then when we go... I guess we'll just keep... I think Meteor's going to be our damage dealer again. But okay. Main Gauche... I want everybody to have Hermes Sandals until we get to the box, because we'll get into random encounters on the way there. Okay, this is fine, though. Forest. Oh, I can't equip the Defender, can I, on Forest? Well, okay, Forest is going to have, I guess, the Enhancer. It doesn't really matter. Crystal Shield, so it's 45% evasion, and we're mini, so it's 90% evasion on Forest. I'll give you the Mirage Vest too, I suppose. Because I'd rather everybody else have the magic stats. Yeah, I think that's about as good as we're going to get. The main Gauche is going to absorb some attacks, but Lena and Kryle are just going to be completely... open to being attacked at all times. They're just going to be vulnerable for the whole fight. Let's do it. So we want to see Shinryu attack Forest, because Forest has a 90% chance to evade. Well, the first hit we have a 100% chance to evade because of the Mirage Vest. If we had some way to... have Faris like taunt Shinryu, but I don't think that actually even exists in this game. Let's put on our coral rings. And make sure we can get Wonder Wand and Time Magic. Yeah, everybody's got Time Magic. Faris is singing and you're singing. Alright, I think it's as good as we're going to get. Monster attack! Alright, let's go. Here's the opener. This can't hurt us because we got coral rings. Oh, only 8,000 damage that would have done. Because we're not wearing Hermes sandals, we do need 2 Hasteska. Kryl needs to attack with the Wonder Wand, and we are on. As soon as she berserks Shinryu, he is going to start just destroying us with physical hits. So every round we can, we need to use Phoenix Downs. Fortunately, 3 of our characters can cast Quick and can use 2 Phoenix Downs per turn. The question is what to do with Faris' first turn here. Do I want to just have Faris singing Hero's Rhyme? I think we're going to just have Faris sing Hero's Rhyme. So, Shinryu's berserked. And we're on. Let's see how good Meteor can do here. Which means we are going to have to reapply haste periodically as people die off and we bring them back. That's low rolls, man. We got to see better than that. Can we see better meteors than that? We might be better off with Flare here. Oh, let's try Flare on Kryl and see what we get. Oh, that was less damage than I was expecting, actually. Okay. So if I use a Phoenix Down, she doesn't put any damage out. So we are going to use Quick here and use 2 Phoenix Downs. And this is how it's going to go. Lots of Phoenix Downs and probably lots of Flares. Nice missed. You can go with Hasteska here. Or should I go Quick Hasteska Meteor here? I think Quick Hasteska Meteor is better. Let's put as much damage out there as we can. We've got elixirs to heal up with if we need them. He's not doing that round again. I want to see what Flare can do on Kryl's turn. I think if Flare can do about 3,000 damage, it's a better bet here than Meteor is. I think Flare's the better bet. We're going to go with Flare. Because if we get real low Meteor rolls, we're not even breaking 3,000. Lena can't boost Flare, though, because Kryl's got the Magus... Oh, no, Lena has the Magus Rod. So her Flare should be even better. Maybe not, because it's not Elemental. Yeah, we're getting more consistent damage out of Flare. We're going to stick with that. And the damage will go up over the course of the fight as our levels get raised. He only killed 1 person there. That's kind of strange. Should I haste Lena here? Or wait? You know what, I think I'd rather haste Lena here to make sure she gets her next turn in before Shinryu goes again. I think that's the safer bet. Let's keep everybody hasted as often as possible. How about that? I'd like to see some of his physical attacks start landing on Forest, so we can eat some of those up with that evasion. So we're only going to get one flare in here. I'm not super worried about Bart's not being hasted because he's not one of our big damage dealers. In fact, if Bartz gets another turn, instead of hasting himself, I'm going to have him use an Elixir on Lena so she doesn't have to do it. Nice. That's exactly what we want to see, is that shield coming out and doing work. So she needs an Elixir this round. Or should I have her use an Elixir on Lena instead, and then Lena can do 2 flares on her turn coming up here? Let's do that. There you go, baby cakes. Enjoy. And then you can use an Elixir on Kryl, and we can start this ride again. We're not going to need a lot of Elixirs in the very final boss, so I don't mind using them all up here. I'd rather not have to do the silly zombie strats against Shinryu, if it's okay with you guys. I'd rather kill him in a more sensible way. By throwing Flare at him all day long. I am happy that we did find a fight where Flare is the better bet than Meteor, though. I do think that the magic defense piercing property of Flare is the way to go here. Oh, that shield! Forrest, you're doing your job! You don't have to put out a single point of damage. Just sit there and soak up those hits. If I walk out of this fight with more than 90 Phoenix Downs, I'm going to be really, really pleased with how this went. Actually, I guess with a red mage and a time mage, you could quick dual cast in the same time. And put out even more flares. Alright, so we're going to have to mop this up. Bartz can cast Hastega, and he's going to have to. Ooh, can he cast Quick Hastega? I'm not sure. I'm going to revive Lena here, so we don't fall behind. I'd rather err on the side of caution in this fight than have to do the whole fight again. You can see our damage is going up over time. Ooh, this is real bad. Alright, because after I revive my 2 people here, nobody's going to be hasted. So we're going to have real problems. So we might be stalling here with Quick until we get back on our feet. We might have to get lucky and make sure the Kryl doesn't take a hit here. That's okay? So now I can Phoenix down and then Hastega, and we should be back on the horse. And we're coming up on needing more Elixirs. So as long as our Elixirs hold, we have this fight in the bag. It's not who I wanted to see die there, but okay. I'm going to Phoenix down Flare here. So I don't think we're going to make our 90 goal, unfortunately. Lennox, I'm going to have Flare, and if Bartz gets a turn, I'm going to have an Elixir. Oh, we got him. Never mind. That was it. That was Shinryu. Whew! And we got our Dragon Shield, and we got a Ragnarok Sword that we cannot ever equip. Well, okay then. Put Hermes Sandals back on across the board. Let's put our Aegis Shield back on. Let's cure this miniature status. And everybody else is well equipped. Oh, we don't need the Wonder Wand anymore. Oh, Lilith Rod is going to be the way to go here, because we're going to be either casting Flare or Meteor. I didn't realize that was such a big magic buff. Okay, yeah, we'll use that. Alright, let's go get our Triple Crown. It's just Neo X-Death, and then we can kick back and watch the ending to the game. Now, the X-Death fight is going to be consistent. It's going to be fun. We're going to win. I'm very confident we'll win on our first try, and the reason is we have Bard, and Bard is insane in this fight. The Neo X-Death fight has actually has 6 parts, and 2 of them are untargetable and don't take moves. They're just there to eat up like Rapid Fire or Meteor or whatever. But it has 4 parts. 1 part is not heavy. We can instantly kill it. We have the Magic Lamp that can do it on the very first turn. The other part that's going to be really damaging to us is the one that uses Almagest. It has 55,000 hit points, and we want to burn through all of it as fast as we can. And I'm thinking we're going to do it dual casting Flare. But we can sandbag the fight as long as we want and get our stats as high as we want. There's no reason we shouldn't be able to go into that fight doing 9999 damage with Shell, Protect, and Float, and all the fixins. So, I think this is how we want to do. Enhancer? Yeah, Enhancer. You're going to be singing for most of the fight, Faris. The worst thing that can happen is in the first half of the fight is an attack called White Hole, which kills you and then petrifies you, and we only have 2 gold needles. Oh, that's not good. I completely forgot about that. We might have to go buy more gold needles if we get unlucky here. I'm considering doing that now. And then just running through the final dungeon a 3rd time. Let's go see if we get lucky. Let's just see if we get lucky. We got Sing and Time. Is that what we want? No, I want Sing and... Blue I can heal with. But Time I can quick and then use 2 items. I think I'm going to stick with Time there. Black and Time, Time and Black, Blue and Sing. That's exactly what we want. Alright, let's get me there. We might have to run through this dungeon a 3rd time with gold needles. I completely forgot we were going to need those. I have to wonder, did the comments section of the previous video is screaming about me for going into the final dungeon with no gold needles? I wonder. Alright, X-Death, let's do this. Our blue mage might be able to do pretty good damage with Excalibur or Goblin Punch. Actually. Once we have our level increased super high, etc., etc. So the first thing he's going to do is suck a bunch more cities into the void. It's actually funny because if you leave the dungeon, like, all these cities just come back. It's like, oh, just time got rewound. We're not going to explain why the cities and stuff came back. But we still wanted to have this gut punch of all your friends getting sucked into the void at the very end. Seems like a considerable amount of resources for X-Death to expend to just get those 2 people down there in the catapult. And yeah, you pretty much have to sit through this cutscene every single time you fight this boss if you don't win. Here's the problem. If we don't win, it's because of White Hole. I've got to leave and get gold needles. After you watch this cutscene, you can go back to the save point if you want, so you don't have to watch it again. But if you leave the dungeon, as I said, it rewinds time, and then you do have to watch it again. If White Hole proves to be a problem, we've got to take one more trip through the final dungeon so we have gold needles to heal petrification with. Final Fantasy IX has a blue magic spell that heals status ailments. How come no other game does, huh? How come I can't do that with blue mage? ZZ's in the wrong spot. ZZ's like, oh, I'm standing in the wrong spot. We don't make a nice little diamond shape. I better fix that real quick. Whoop! Oh, thanks, dead people. So we see here why Kelger had to die in the dumbest scene imaginable. Like, they needed him to die, not just for the thematic purposes of passing on the torch to the new generation of heroes, but also because I guess only ghosts can stop the Void Ball? Sure, why not? Metaphysical malarkey that doesn't make sense. Oh, and so I guess at the end here, King Tycoon also joins the Dawn Warriors. And so there's the Dawn Warriors and we're the Light Warriors. So like the Dawn comes first and then the Light. Alright, hopefully we don't see too much white hole here. So we're going to sing Sinewy Etude. We're going to... You're not going to do anything. I can always return if I get white holed too much. It's not ideal, but eventually we'll get a lucky fight where I don't have to worry about it. We're going to put out Mighty Guard to take the bite out of the physical hits. And of course, okay, so that must have hit Forrest's Aegis Shield. So we have Etude going, and we're going to Hero's Rhyme going, and we're just going to Sandbag. Oh, we should have put Mighty March up first. Oh well. You know what? Not oh well. We do need to put Mighty March up first. Not only because that heals us throughout the fight, but as your level increases, the ticks you get from Mighty March also increase. So it's a good gauge of how high your level is. So Mighty Guard we'll put up, and then we'll get you guys both singing. And I also want to sing Mana's Paean at some point as well. So we got 3 songs that we want to put up. And he missed with White Hole again. Nice. So yeah, we're going to start with Hero's Rhyme. I should actually have Forrest singing it, because Forrest can dodge White Hole and nobody else can. And you're going to sing Etude. Etude is going to give us more turns. It raises our agility. And then we're going to chill out. And we can just watch the healing ticks roll in. And when I need to change my song... Wow, he missed with White Hole again. Time to change my song, what I can do is kill one of the 2 singers with Flare, if Xdeath doesn't oblige me, and bring them back and sing another song. And we're just going to sandbag for a little bit before it's time to start dual casting Meteors at this punk. Flare might be better, because Flare ought to hit with 9999 once we're high enough. Okay, there's a White Hole. We're going to let Lena take care of that. Only got 2 gold needles. Actually, I should use a high potion here, because she doesn't have regen anymore. And I can reapply Mighty Guard later. I'm not really worried about it. It's one of his most common attacks, too. Oh, that's going to be the limiting factor here. But you can see our regen ticks are going up and up and up and up. Until the point... And as our level goes up, it'll be harder and harder for White Hole to even land, because our magic defense level factors into that as well. But without reapplying Protect, it's going to be difficult to keep Lena and Crowd alive, but I've got 99 elixirs, or Phoenix Downs. Not 99, I've got like 89 now. 88, I was 1 off. I will go ahead and do this, though. And we're just going to sit here and let the ticks happen. Let the songs do they work. If we see White Hole again, we're going to have to start pushing the fight, though. We're getting one-shot even in the back row without Protect, so there's not really any point to her doing this. Using a high potion. Oh, defending might help, though. And then have you do a high potion. Maybe then you'll survive. I kind of want to see White Hole hit Bart's now. Because that would remove Bart's song. Or if White Hole takes magic points, like he'll eventually stop casting it because he's out of MP. Unfortunately, there's no way to raise your maximum hit points outside of being a chemist. Otherwise, if we actually got the benefits of our maximum hit points going up as our levels went up, then Almagest in the next phase of this fight would not be a problem at all. No, I want you to defend and I'll have Lena heal you. But you see how many turns we're getting? That's because our agility is going up so high. So what I want to do now is you're going to defend because you're not getting regen. Don't hit anybody. Okay, good. Alright, we're going to flare Bart's. Okay. Now we're going to revive Bart's. So now I can issue him another command to get another song going. Well, if he gets another song going. Come on, Bart's, get a turn, buddy. Alright, so first we're going to reapply regen to Bart's and Kryl. See if you'll survive if I do this. And now we're going to start singing this and raise our magic damage stats. And let this tick happen for a while. I don't remember if Bart's was singing Hero's Rhyme or Etude. I actually don't recall. When I opened up Bart's, put up Mighty March. Forest cast Mighty Guard, so Bart's must have been doing Hero's Rhyme. Which means I'm going to have to get Forest up and running here. Very good. So first we can reapply Mighty Guard. What do I want to do with you? Nothing. Defend. Apply regen. Oh, I should have thrown a high potion at Forest, I guess. And then get Forest singing Hero's Rhyme. So now we got Hero's Rhyme and Mana's Pain going, raising our level and our magic attack stats. And we're just going to chill. Every time you see the White Hole text pop up, but the spell doesn't actually land, it's not getting through somebody's magic defense. So either our levels are high enough now to defend against it, or he keeps trying to target Forest, and it keeps exploding against her Aegis shield. I do want to keep defending here because that reduces the damage from his physical hits. It's just better than to let somebody die. Because right now we've got all of our buffs on. We've got Protect, we've got Shell. Whitehole just isn't landing. We might be at the max level at this point. If we're at max level, max agility, and max magic, we're in good shape. Because yeah, he just can't hit us with anything right now. How many elixirs do I have? 4. Okay. I think it's time to start bringing the peoples out. We've sandbagged long enough. Yeah, Phoenix down here. Probably don't need actually Flare to take them out, but... Oh, how bad would it be if Flare had bounced off her Aegis shield? That's just a waste of magic points at that point. So far, so good, but look how many turns we're getting compared to X-Death, because we've maxed out our agility. And he just can't. He just can't with Whitehole. It's just not landing. Get the regen back up. We'll get Mighty Guard back up. And it's time to start tucking in. So elixirs, we can use 2 elixirs for Lena and 2 for Cryo. And then we're out. It's about 7,000 damage-ish there. I think we'll stick with Meteor for now. No, that was kind of low. The other 3 hits made up for it. That was still about 7,000. Ooh, that was real low. We might need 1 elixir at the start of the next phase, or pretty close to the start of the next phase. Is there anything else here I want to sing? I don't think so, and I don't think I will actually have him throw meteors out against this phase, because his magic is going to be less important in the next phase than the girls will be. So him putting out 2 meteors here is going to be very helpful. But you can see the lower magic stat is coming into play. He's getting much lower rolls on average. That was pretty good. Maybe it was just a low roll overall. I need to look up the formula for how Meteor works, because right there, that was pretty awesome. What do you want to do here? You want to... I want to try Excalibur Goblin Punch here. There you go. Because our levels are so high right now. I'm not going to quick for the rest of this phase here. So we do need to conserve a little bit of magic, but I got that 5,000 damage Goblin Punch. That's definitely pretty good. And then Bartz can fall back on the chicken knife once he's done with meteors. Or for single target damage as well. Our chicken knife isn't exemplary because we never did max it out. We didn't run enough, but it should still be okay. X-Death was angle-fed! By the void! So we've raised our agility to probably maximum, which means that the chicken knife damage we get is going to be pretty good. Being a knife, but it is not back row okay, but I think Bart's might get killed with any attack. Moving Bart to the front row might not be a terrible idea. We need to attack the middle of X-Death, is the Almagest form. This is something I get wrong every year when I do the Fiesta, so it's possible I'll target the wrong spot. But the middle or bottom part, I think it's the bottom part that we have to focus on. We got to take that one out before Almagest comes out even once. We're hasted, we have maximum agility, we're going to get tons of turns. The other major problem is Grand Cross, but the part that uses Grand Cross is not heavy, which means we can do this. And this looks real promising, but it's not the whole boss that dies. It's just that one part. But it's not the whole boss that regenerates either. Alright, what are we doing here? We are doing Goblin Punch. That's the front part. There's the top part. This is the part that uses Almagests. So we're going to target that. Oh, that's good damage. And we're going to have to go with Flare here, not Meteor, because I don't want to damage the other parts yet. In fact, I think we're going to do Flare pretty much this whole fight. Are we going to see 9s here? Quad 9s? Yes, we are. You know what? We're going to see him again. This is the strength of Bard. You can get to maximum level, maximum magic, maximum agility. So here you go. Hasted, double casting black mages with maxed out stats. This is what it looks like. Cryo might need an elixir here. Oh, we can get one flare and then an elixir. And Quick is just giving us a bunch of bonus turns. It's just insane. Okay, now she's out. There's one elixir. We've only got 4, but I don't think it's going to take 4. So Meteor's not a good idea anymore. So what we're going to do is put on the chicken knife and... I guess... Well, we tried to run. Well... That's not good. That's not good at all. Ah, that was terrible. Okay. Yeah, let's get her back up. She's going to have haste, but she's not going to have protect or anything else. I can give her regen, though. And I think when he starts shaking like that, Almagest is starting to get primed, and it will still wipe us out. Almagest will kill us. So Lena losing a turn is terrible here. I think each part has like 50,000 hit points. So 6 flares ought to do it. It looks like that was it. Yeah, that part's dead. Whew, okay, dodge that bullet. Let's get regen back up on Lena. And... so there's the front part and the back part, and neither are super dangerous, but this front part does... We actually don't want to leave any section alone. Because if a section is alone, it starts spamming Meteor. So we're going to have to kind of watch how much health it has. So we're going to damage this front part. Oh, I can't even get you to quick. I can do one flare, though, and then give you an elixir. So this is going to take 5,000, this is going to take 10,000. But as long as I alternate parts, we should be okay. So the back part is 5,000 ahead right now. Vacuum Wave just completely missed. That's pretty good. So right now the back part's 5,000 ahead. And then the front part will be 5,000 ahead. And then the back part will be 5,000 ahead again. Bartz needs to give an elixir to Lena. Thank you much. And right now the back part's 5,000 ahead, so Goblin Punch should even us up. So right now we're even, so as long as we keep splitting back and forth, we should be okay. So we'll go back then front. And if we're lucky, we'll kill both of them on the same turn. If we're not, we might have to get real lucky to dodge one meteor before we can finish off. Let's see how lucky we get here. The ending changes slightly depending on which characters are alive at the end of this fight. If a character is dead at the end of this fight, there's a slightly different ending where that character gets sucked into the void, but then they kind of miraculously come back later anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Oh, she needs another elixir already. I think I'll do that with Bartz. I'll give her an elixir with Bartz's turn here. The laws of the universe mean nothing. Very good. That's kind of what I've accepted that. Kryl needs the elixir right now. Right now our hit points should be about even. Okay, Dispel, Float, and Protect and stuff. That's great. So we're going to do the front here. So the front's going to be 5,000 ahead. So we want to go back front with flares this time. Back. And we should be coming up on the end here, because each of these parts has eaten quite a few flares at this point. So I'm either expecting to see some meteor spam, or expecting to see the end of the fight relatively quickly here. Speaking of quick, in fact, I'm going to have your turn. Oh, it's only the one part left. So yeah, we got to just take this one part out and we're done. And if Kryl's 2 flares don't do it for whatever reason, we got Bartz coming right up behind with some meteors, and that should take care of it. GG, boyos. Farewell to Ned. Oh, we didn't even get the second flare to come out. Kryl's just going to have this second flare just primed for the rest of her life, just wandering around with a flare in her pocket. I guess I always just assumed, given the ending of the game, as you'll see, we'll go through the end, the epilogue here, is a letter that Kryl's writing to Mid. I guess I just assumed that, like, in the aftermath, the two of them always hooked up, so maybe he needs to be very, very careful to, like, not forget Valentine's Day, or whatever. Because otherwise, she just got this flare in her pocket. Another successful Fiesta. This might have been the strongest Fiesta party I've ever played. I've had a couple runs with Samurai, and Samurai's the best job in the game, hands down. But having access to all this magic, especially Quick, Meteor, and Flare in the third world, and Bard. Ah, what a brokenly good party. We got Blue Mage shenanigans through all of the tough boss fights. I think the hardest boss fight we had to face, there was the Karnak escape because I didn't have enough Phoenix Downs. I had to leave most of that on the shelf. And Minotaur in the Fork Tower. Other than that, did I have any problems against any boss? I just can't think of a place where we had any real major trouble. Just Minotaur. And even then, it was just a matter of use the chicken knife. So I do this every year. I play the Fiesta every year, and I have since I think 2011. The very first time I ever streamed on Twitch was a Final Fantasy V 4-job Fiesta. And I think at the time before I did that, like I was kind of psyching myself up for a few weeks because I knew I was signing up on Twitch. I was getting a Twitch account. I was going to do some streaming for the first time ever. And I think I had this like romanticized version of it, of what streaming would be like, that has been disabused over the years. But it's a good way to replay Final Fantasy V once a year. Before the Fiesta came along, my once-a-year Final Fantasy replay, I did a playthrough of Final Fantasy IV, Vanilla FF4 once a year. Don't really need to do that anymore now because we've got free enterprise. We've got randomizers for Final Fantasy IV, and Final Fantasy I has an excellent randomizer as well. Final Fantasy V has a randomizer called Career Day, but it's not... The last time I tried it, it wasn't there yet. It was just way too many easy checks, just trivial checks, just places to go and check pots and treasure boxes. And the problem with a randomizer that starts out that way is, in Final Fantasy V at least, where you can find jobs and spells in those locations, like you have to start every rando seed with 20 minutes of just flying around batting down all the trivial checks before you even really get started into the game. So I think with some work, a Final Fantasy V randomizer could be pretty good. The gating in it was okay. Like you start in World 1 and eventually you open up World 2. And then in World 2 you eventually open up World 3. And then in World 3 you have to burn the 4 sealed pages to get through the rift, the final dungeon. So all of these locations are places you'll visit and you'll find a random boss there, and each boss has some kind of progression. Whether it opens up other locations or leads to one of your burned pages. But the randomizer as a whole I just don't think was there yet. I haven't checked on it for a few months. Anytime I play a randomizer and that doesn't immediately grab me, like I pencil it in. Like go back in 6 or 8 months. See what it's like then. Because these randomizers are in constant development. They're gonna look different. Before that, many years ago, there was not a randomizer exactly, but there was a ROM hack that had random elements to it called Final Fantasy V Ancient Cave. It was based on the Lufia 2 Ancient Cave, which is a randomized... It's a mystery dungeon, basically. Like a roguelike mode. Where instead of actually generating random levels for each dungeon floor, it had a pool of dungeon floors, including, I think, all of the dungeon floors in the game, really, that you could see over the course of the game. And the deeper you went, the stronger the monsters got. But you still found random jobs and abilities out of treasure boxes. And the problem with Ancient Cave was that there's nowhere to refill your magic points inside of the Ancient Cave. So you had to either get the Dancer job, or the Dancing Dagger, or the Dragoon job very, very early. Because those are the 3 things you can use to infinitely recharge your magic points. I guess the Lilith Rod as well can do it, that we found at the end of the run here, but I don't think I've ever found that in a seed of Ancient Cave for whatever reason. I played hours and hours of Ancient Cave, and the problem was, like it being a roguelike mode, you could play it for 10 hours and get really far into it. And in Lufia 2, that's not a super big problem. Because Lufia 2, you have the ability to kind of take every single... First of all, you can see encounters on the maps. You know what encounters are where, and if you're good enough, you can avoid encounters. If you know how the monsters move on the map. It's a skill you can learn. Final Fantasy V has monsters that can just wipe your party when you get far enough in the game. There are random encounters that if you don't have the right ability set and you don't get lucky running from the encounter, like no amount of game knowledge can really help you. I think I played once, and you were timed on each floor, so you could not... To make sure you couldn't just power level endlessly on random encounters on a floor that you could survive indefinitely, there was a timer on each floor. So the most efficient strategy became level up as high as you can on each floor and then leave each floor with like 5 or 10 seconds left on the clock. Became the best strategy. And I think I played once, because you want to stay leveled up. There are lots of monsters that can wipe you. And I had a run that was going pretty good. I got all the good jobs, and I played, I think, for 6 or 7 hours, I want to say. It was a long session, and I got to an enemy called the Executor, or the Executor, I'm not really sure. But in any event, this is an enemy that you find in the Wind Shrine, that we kind of just blew past. I think we ran from 1 or 2 of them, but they cast level 5 Death. And my party just happened to be multiple of 5, and I had no idea that that was the dungeon floor they were going to be on. And even if I did, I had no way to really control my levels. Like, even if I get to level 64 and like, okay, I'm going to hold at 64 or something, well, the next dungeon floor might be filled with unrunnable encounters. And you kind of have no choice but to level up to 65. It felt really unfair. I'm sure with enough runs and with enough practice, I might be able to get around it. And I know people that have completed Ancient Cave before, but I just lost all interest in it after losing that 6 or 7 hour run. So I'm glad there are options out there to randomize Final Fantasy V, but personally I think the Fiesta does a better job of that. Just play through the whole game with randomly selected jobs. Just do that. And then Forrest jumps out the window without opening it first, because she's magic! This scene doesn't really make sense to me, Ball not having an heir to the throne. I think the way it goes is that Kryl is not Galif's granddaughter by blood. I think she was adopted. Galif doesn't have children. But I also was under the impression that Galif and Zizat weren't princes. They were heroes that won their thrones through great deeds, kind of like a classical Greek hero, rather than having a bloodline. Apparently baby chocobos also have really, really short gestation periods, because they were only in their eggs for about 2 seconds. What I found is especially cute about this ending. First of all, the ending, the song... Is this song Dear Friends? I'm not sure. One of the songs that plays in the ending is called Dear Friends, and that's kind of the theme of the ending, is after the adventure, the 4 heroes kind of went out their separate ways, or died, got sucked into the void. If they end the Neo X-Death fight dead, they get sucked into the void instead. And you kind of have these little remembrances of them. But Bartz and Lena and Faris all have their lives to go back to, where Kryl has had her life uprooted. Her life was in Ball Castle with Galif, who's dead now. So Bartz can continue his adventure with the Chocobos, and Lena can go back to being Queen of Tycoon. And Faris can go back to being a pirate, but Kryl doesn't really have anybody. So she feels very alone in the world right now. But anyway, in Final Fantasy V, I don't feel the ending is particularly effective. Because, yeah, you have all these cute character moments that we get to see here at the end. The game made sure that there were lots of these little character moments, these little vignettes throughout the game where each character gets lots of chances to shine, probably because they knew they were going to construct this exact scene for the ending. And if you're going to do this, you need to make sure you have little spotlight moments for each of the characters. But the story and character arcs in this game are not great. The story the writing is not the focus of the game. This is a mechanical game first and foremost. It's about exploring the job system. I've actually read, many years ago, I read like an opinion piece about why Final Fantasy V has the weakest soundtrack of, even going all the way back to the NES days. Final Fantasy III has an extremely powerful soundtrack for the NES. And then Final Fantasy IV and VI, like, their soundtracks are unparalleled, as far as I'm concerned. If you're talking about chiptune music, it's hard to do better than that. Or even comparing it to its other Squaresoft contemporaries like Secret of Mana and Chrono Trigger and whatever. But Final Fantasy V soundtrack, they made 2 points. Like, first, it just leans way too hard on a particular synth instrument, like this kind of trumpety, blurt sounding thing. It does a lot of that, which makes the battle music in particular very weak in this game. It's also very short loop. I think it's only like 40 seconds or so. And if your battle music is weak, the whole soundtrack is going to feel weak, because you spend most of your time in a JRPG inside the battle system. But the other point that I read was, it's not a story-focused game. It doesn't have strong characters or strong story arcs, so there's not a real like emotional core for the music to latch onto, which is something that makes a lot of the other Final Fantasy games that do focus very strongly on story. 4, 6, 7, 9, 10 all have that focus, and their soundtracks all feel stronger. 5 and 8 are kind of the odd ones out. They're the more mechanically focused games. Their plots were obviously second consideration to the battle system and the job system and the junction system and the mechanics. And so you don't have that same emotional center. Although 8 tries a little too hard in places, especially when you reach the midpoint of the game and you've got Squall and Rinoa and their relationship. That's possibly a rant for another Let's Play series down the road. But what I like about this scene, because it's the idea here of one character feeling alone because everybody else went out back to their lives, like this was the hardest part of Cryo's life, was this adventure, obviously, but it was also a great part of her life because she had her friends with her, and she went and she had like a goal, and now she feels like listless and aimless and alone. They took this same idea for an ending, and they used it again in a much more story-focused Final Fantasy down the road, at the end of Final Fantasy XII, which does have a strong story, and also does have strong character arcs. But it has almost the same ending, where Pinello is writing a letter to Larsa, and explaining, like, everybody went back to their lives, and I feel kind of lonely now, and it's kind of getting back to normal, and normal feels weird. And that game has an outstanding soundtrack, so the emotional beats of the ending hit home. And I wonder sometimes if developers on a long-running series like this, especially a series that's not continuous, like Final Fantasy, where each chapter has to stand on its own, I wonder sometimes if they try out something and they know they don't get it right the first time, if that's why they'll sometimes pick those ideas up and try them again. Like Final Fantasy III had a job system, wasn't great. It misfired in some areas, but the core idea of the job system was good. Well, okay, a couple years go by, let's try the experiment again. Let's apply what we've learned, take the same idea, put it in Final Fantasy V, and this time it worked perfectly. I wonder if that same thing can work with writing. Like, okay, we have the ending scene where somebody's kind of feeling lonely, but the game doesn't really have the emotional center to make it work that well. It could also be that I'm just jaded, or that I was jaded when I first played this game. Remember, I didn't play the Final Fantasy games in order. I didn't have access to Final Fantasy V. I played 4, then 6, then Chrono Trigger, then 7, then 8, then 5. So I kind of saw the expansion of the Final Fantasy ending scene, the cinematics of it kind of stretch and get grander with each game, and then went back and looked at this, which was kind of a more quaint take on the idea. Maybe that's it. Maybe I just experienced them out of order. But that does bring us to a close for the 4-job Fiesta for this year. I'm not going to share this with you guys, but I do keep a spreadsheet where I put my Fiesta jobs every year just so I can remember what I've gone through in years past. Where is that spreadsheet at now? I have so many spreadsheets. I do spreadsheets for fun. I do. That's absolutely true. Oh, here's one that's just my cube list of all my cubes that I've got. We're going too far back now. I know I've loaded this spreadsheet. Can I search? Ah, there we go. Oh yeah, I opened it last month. I just must have scrolled past it. Alright. So, 2020. Name, Bart's. Rules. Hashtag pure chaos. Wind job was Blue Mage. Water job was Bard. Fire job was Black Mage. And Earth job was Time Mage. And all these numbers should line up. So looking at the stats here, I've had Bard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I've had Bard 6. This is my 6th Fiesta run with Bard. I had Bard in 2012. Oh, that was my first run. Okay, so I must not have streamed until 2013. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I had Bard 2012. And I've had Bard 2017 and every Fiesta since. I did 2 runs in 2018, 1 last year, 1 this year, and I've had Bard in all of them. Both runs in 2018 started with Bard, actually. That's far and away the most common job I've had. I've rolled Geomancer 3 times. And I completed with Geomancer 3 times. I've rolled it 5 times and bought it away twice. Berserker I've rolled 3 times, so I must have rolled... I bought 2 Berserkers away over the years, so I must have rolled that 5 times and bought it away twice. I also have had 3 Samurais and 3 Rangers, and everything else I've either only had once or twice. This is my 2nd Blue Mage. I've never had Summoner, and I've never had the 4 Game Boy Advance jobs. In fact, I'm going to add those into the spreadsheet here in case they ever update the advance rules and I can I can end up with one in my party. I'm pretty sure all 4 of the Game Boy Advance jobs are just good enough to break the game for any Fiesta run. I think that's the case. Wow, I think if I was going to select the best jobs in Final Fantasy V, 4 of them, like, a job that's good enough to carry a whole team is kind of the definition of a good job in Fiesta. Blue Mage, Bard, Black Mage, and Time Mage are all good enough to carry a whole team. Maybe Black Mage is a little iffy because it's not a support job. It can't make another job better, but you can always just give all your characters black magic and just burn everything down. All of these are top tier jobs for sure, no question. I had Monk last year? I don't remember using Monk at all. Yeah, I rolled Monk last year, apparently. Samurai, Bard, Ninja, Monk. So I had a nice martial team last year. That was almost a no 750 team. So there's 2 rolls you can do. You can do 750 or no 750. 750 is significant as a number because that's the cost of a rod in Karnak. So any job, like magically oriented jobs are associated with rods. So those are the 750 jobs. Jobs that are not magical in nature, that can't equip rods, are the no 750 jobs. In order to make sure they had equal amounts of each, they kind of stretched it in places. Like Bard and Geomancer can't equip rods, but they still count as 750 jobs because they're more magical classes. I did 750 one year. I had Blue Mage. Oh, that was my first Blue Mage. Okay. I also had Red Mage, Geomancer, and Chemist. I also did Natural that year, which meant once I put somebody in a job, they had to stay there for the entire game. That's right, I had Red Mage, but all my Red Mage could do was, like, dual cast Cura. That was the best thing she could do. And I had Geomancer that year, too. Oh, Geomancer with no support ability is terrible. But Blue Mage and Chemist carried me. And then next year I did no 750. I rolled Knight, Magic Knight, Ninja, and Dragoon, which is an amazing team, too. Knight and Ninja together is incredibly good. I wonder if I did Triple Crown that year. I haven't kept track of what years I did Triple Crown and what years I didn't, unfortunately. Every year that I've gotten Bard, for sure. Faris was kind of my butt monkey in this run, because she never did any time as a Time Mage or a Black Mage. Not enough to learn any abilities anyway, but I mean, Blue Magic and Sing, like, you just want two singers in the party. If you have Bard and Fiesta, you're always going to have somebody with Sing, so you kind of, whatever they are, you're just going to give them Sing as their secondary ability. I didn't need a third or fourth Black Mage or Time Mage. The reason we're sitting here watching... Don't cast ice on Biblos, you dummy. He's weak to fire, you jerk. The reason it feels like the music is just taking its sweet time here is... You have to keep in mind, I only used 4 jobs the whole game. Nobody learned more than a tiny handful of abilities. But if you master every job, you have to wait for every single ability to scroll past. I've done that before. I've done games where I literally mastered every job on every character. And you just watch this scroll and scroll and scroll. Abilities learned 318 or whatever. Oh, we're singing at X-Death, huh? Happy birthday to X-Death. Yeah, this has to be the strongest Fiesta. I don't know, last year... Well, I had Monk last year, so I had a dead job last year. Samurai, Bard, Ninja together is really good. I had Bard, Thief, Geomancer, Knight. I had Bard, Dancer, Ranger, Freelancer. That's a pretty good job, but it doesn't really make good use of Freelancer. I mean, Freelancer that's rapid firing is not terrible. But no magic in that team was probably the limiting factor. I bet I still did Trip Crown, because I had Bard. The worst team I ever had to have been 2016. I had Ranger, Geomancer, Berserker, Beastmaster. I don't think I've ever had a worse team than that. So I've seen the worst team, and I've seen the best team in the Fiesta. I'm glad I got to share the Fiesta with you on YouTube this year. I hope you enjoyed it, even the parts that were just me fighting the same boss over and over and over for 7 hours straight. Even the parts where I forgot obvious stuff or didn't know rules correctly, I still got there in the end. I got the Trip Crown. I thought I'd be done talking by now, but the music's still going, so... There's the end of the music. Thanks for watching, kids. I'll see you next time.